Hey, what's happening, beautiful flying people? Oh, crack coming at you in the dish, that crack of sauce. Oh man, I'm excited. We got a video today, more SB thermal, you know what I mean? This video is more for like new people trying to figure out how to stay aloft in Santa Barbara. Maybe people that are coming to Santa Barbara that are having trouble staying up here and trying to figure out why. We had a flight a few weeks ago at the VOR, and it made me think about making this video because a few of us were able to hang out and even scoot around, you know, all low and on these small thermals that didn't go up very high. And a lot of sentiment when I landed was a lot of people were like, I didn't feel a bump my whole flight. Well, let me tell you why. We're going to explain. We're going to break it down in this video right here. We're going to get you another hour, 2 hours airtime in SB guaranteed. Let me show you how to do it, all right? So this is why you didn't feel a bump, all right? So this is a VOR. Here's the side profile of the VOR. Launch is about, what, 3,400 feet. We have the final rock pile down here by this last thermal I have marked. It's about 1,800 feet. It's kind of like the to-go point to make the LZ if you don't want to walk too far. And then we got this blue line, which is kind of our normal inversion, our thick, heavy inversion around 3 grand. Sometimes, you know, sometimes 3,500, 3,800, sometimes 2,800. Every day different, but there's usually some kind of stable inverted air, thick layer because of this big wet blue thing out here. So most of our days are kind of like this, you know? I mean, of course, there's powerful booming days, but a lot of our days are stable days where the lift doesn't go very high. The lift is glued to the terrain, so usually the trick is you got to grind and slide, you know? You got to grind up a little bit, slide back, grind up, slide back. That's the whole trick to it. Let me show you why. Let's draw a little line here. So on this day of VOR, when everybody was launching way up here and they're going on glide, look at this. Look at what's happening. Oh boy, my mouth's running out. All right. Do you see that? They're going on glide right out to Parma. That's right. They didn't feel a bump. They flew right over all the lift. All right. And so Santa Barbara, you know, it's only the better days where that lift really gets you more than 500 over the terrain or so. Most days, if you're more than 500 feet above the terrain, you probably aren't gonna find much lift. All right, that's just most days. So what you gotta do? Why don't you feel a bump? Because you're too high, dog. Too high and drunk. Come on. Oh, I'm just talking. I'm just playing. All right, you're just too high. Just too high. So you gotta get down in there. You gotta get on the terrain to find that lift, or else you're just gonna have the smoothest, breeziest, easiest sled ride of your life, unless you get down in there, slide and grind. You know what I'm saying? All right. So let's talk about that for a second. So let's get down here. So say all the lift for this day on the VOR was only going like up about 150, 200 feet. So we may post on the Telegram, a lot of people will post like what conditions were, you know, so this day wind was kind of light and variable and we were climbing between 2,000 and 3,000 feet. All right. But that doesn't mean we're getting one climb up to 3,000 feet. All right. We're grinding and sliding. So you get 150 here. You slide back, you grind up another 150, you slide back, you grind up another 150, you slide back, grind up, so on and so forth until we hit this inversion, and that's the highest we can get. We go on to the next point like No Name and do it all over again. Go on to the next point, West Bowl, do it all over again. But the point is you know, you got to get low and near the terrain to get up most days. And a lot of people are going to disagree about flying close to the terrain. We'll talk about that in a few minutes, safety-wise and stuff. But if you want to stay up in Santa Barbara, you know, you got to get somewhat close, relatively close. This big blue thing kind of keeps our air dampened. You know, it's rare we're having big collapses in Santa Barbara, except for on the most powerful days. So staying close to the terrain, you know, it's not that big a deal. But you do have to have some kind of skill set before you start grinding in there. So let's talk about that. So let's talk about the safety of all this, all right? So a lot of people say, you know, well, especially the hotter glider guys can stay further away because they could work smaller lift with their hotter gliders, and they usually turn a little bigger. But us lower end gliders, especially these Bs and whatnot, I feel we got to stay close to this terrain to get up and grind and slide back. So in Santa Barbara, with this big blue wet thing out here, this area is usually pretty mild near the terrain. It's one of the few places we could fly like this. And statistics, you know, I've been flying here 25 years. I haven't seen too many incidents that happen close to the terrain. It just doesn't happen that often. People have been flying here 40 plus years flying this style without incident. I did crash in the mountain one time, my hang glider a long time ago, but that was more pilot error than like conditions knocking me one way or the other. But you do want to have your piloting skills solid, right? Safety is just kind of a perceived thing. So you got to be real with yourself. Are you taking collapses every flight? You shouldn't be taking any collapses in Santa Barbara, really. So that's something you have to clean up. Do you know the difference between upwind and downwind when you're making your turns? Because downwind is going to take a little longer to get around, and you don't want to be messing around with terrain if you don't have that dialed. If you're not comfortable turning circles close to the train, turn figure eights. It's great practice too, and a great technique to keep you up. You can't just be a sack of rocks flying into these things. You got to be active with those hands. You want your glider to be, perfect pitch control right above your head in order to keep yourself safe and from having incidents close to the terrain. And if we talk about it, some people are like, how close do you fly? Wilcox close? Well, yeah, sometimes, whatever the day takes. Sometimes we got to get in there nice and tight and ride that evection, cruising up these things before we get into a solid thermal. My feeling on the safety thing, remember this is an opinion, right? Everybody's perceived safety is different. I feel very safe and confident close to the train on most days, unless Mother Nature tells me otherwise. Always respect Mother Nature, especially when you're close to the train. Especially when you're close to the train, you gotta respect Mother Nature, all right? She's telling you something, she's slapping you around, you don't feel comfortable, go to a different spot, or don't fly close to the train that day. You don't have to fly close to the train all the days to get up. There's just a lot of days that require this skill set. So always, be respectful of Mother Nature, because she'll slap you in the face quicker than oh no, God dang, you know what I'm saying? All right. And most days I feel solid and confident up there because, in reality, what's the difference between 10 feet and 100 or 150 feet? And my reserve ain't going to come out 150 feet. 500 feet, sure, it's a lot safer than 10 feet or 100 feet or 200 feet. But most of the time, there's no lift 500 feet above the train. So it's up to you. I mean, however you want to play the game. I'm just trying my 2 cents on how a lot of us stay up here, and you'll see these locals scooting the range all day long in these, in 200-foot climbs. You're like, how do they do it? They're so low. But being low doesn't matter that much. It's just a matter of finding lift and not landing. Doesn't matter how low you are. You just got to stay aloft. That's the whole goal. So you got to figure that out for yourself. Everybody's got to figure out what's safe and what's not safe for themselves. And every skill set can be a little different. There's always skills we can progress at and work on and get more solid so our confidence is better and we can take advantage of these lighter day or often most stable day conditions where we're doing this grind and slide game. Most of our days are meager, stable days, but with these techniques, you could slide all up and down our 20-mile fishbowl most days. And, that's it, man. Just go have a little fun, fly a couple hours. It's a good time. Come on now. All right. I'll see y'all up there. Love you. See ya.